This is Andi Purewal for Boxing News. I'm joined by Ben Whittaker here in Birmingham at Resorts World. Ben, it's been a while since I saw you, mate. How's life treating you?
Yeah, it's alright, another day, another dollar, as they say. I'm looking forward to getting back to it Saturday.
Back to it, obviously, last time you fought was in August on the Usyk Joshua 2 cards. Obviously, since then you had surgery on your shoulder. How's everything gone since?
You calm yourself, I don't have no surgery. You know what I mean? I had a little time out with my physio, a lot of rehab and stuff, and I'm back now, so yeah, I'm thankful.
How is it, like, kind of, how have you recovered from it? How are things looking with it?
Good, the niggle's pretty bad to be fair, hence why I was out for so long. But it's just one of those things. I finally listened to my body, took the time off I needed to, got the right people on board, and I'm back firing on all cylinders.
Obviously, another camp under your belt with Sugar. Spent a lot more time this time round out in Miami with him. How have you found that?
Yeah, it was great, more time to learn together, more time to gel together, and it was great sparring. I was sparring like heavyweights, cruiserweights, people like Lawrence Okolie, stuff like that. So I'm only gonna learn with those people around me.
What's that experience like sparring, Lawrence?
It was good, he's bigger, heavier, taller than me, so it's a completely different style. But you never know, I might come up against someone like that in my career. So to do it early now, it's only gonna help me out.
We'll obviously come on to Lawrence shortly as he's a campmate of yours, but sticking with yourself, do you feel like this is a second debut, Ben, because it's been so long since you last fought?
Yeah, that's what I've been telling people. I'm classing this as my debut, really. Especially because the first two had a bit of niggles. I kind of rushed it going from one fight into another fight in about 2, 3 weeks. So, yeah, now I'm professional. I know I need to just take my time, listen to my body. So, this is the debut again for me.
I know you're saying to listen to your body. I'm sure recovery will be a big part in your career moving forwards. But as has well been well documented, you were the man everybody wanted to sign. You obviously chose Boxer and Sky. There's a lot of pressure and expectation on you. Obviously, you talk for talk. Everybody's waiting to see if you can walk the walk now in the pro ranks. Do you feel like there's more of a pressure on you now to kind of really kick on and be as active as possible throughout at least this year?
Yeah, there's no pressure really. I think at the end of the day, it's my career, and luckily enough, compared to a lot of people in the weight division, I'm quite young in a sense. I'm 25. I still got a good few nights ahead of me. But yeah, for me, activity is key at this part of my career. I think the more I get in there, the more comfortable I'll be, the more I can put on good performances, and the more people get to see me. And from there, I can take it on.
So we saw that, I know you're classing this as your debut, but that stunning start out in Bournemouth really caught the eye of everybody. Not the performance I think everybody's expecting to see from you out in Saudi Arabia. Obviously came to that after about the issues you had with your shoulder. Now you come back. What do we expect to see on Saturday night?
Another performance, man. Of course, the debut was great. The second fight for me wasn't the best, but it was unanimous win. But for me, I love these show-stopping performances, man. So Saturday night, that's what I'm looking to do again.
Jordan Grant, what are you expecting from him?
His name's the game apparently, so he'll come game, he'll come strong, he'll try his best. But for me, I've seen opponents like that so many times.
How are you finding in terms of trying to adjust to what Sugar wants from you? You know, we go back to Lawrence again. His first fight under Sugar against David Light, a lot of critics and some people suggesting he's caught maybe between styles. For yourself, how are you finding that adjustment under Sugar now?
Yeah, for me, my second coach, Joby Clayton, who I've been with since a kid, he's kind of always taught me the crunk style anyway. So, and then going with someone who's been in the crunk style is kind of an easy turnover for me. But people know me as flashy and things like that. So the good thing is with Sugar, he's kept my style, just tweaked it, just added to it, and it's just made it an even more effective style. So I think I'm pretty gelling pretty well.
Was that ever a concern for you when you did turn over and you chose Sugar? Because we know he wants to see his fighters get the knockouts, but as you said, everybody's used to seeing you flashy, kind of showboating and entertaining the fans who turn up.
Yeah, like I said, I brought him on for that simple fact. I want to start hurting people now. That's what fans want to see, as well as my exciting, flashy stuff. But I think if I can marry the two, I keep saying it's marry the two. We're on for a winner, and luckily enough, the way things are going in camp, the debut, things like that, it shows it can work.
You come through Saturday unscathed. We mentioned activity. What are the plans that Boxer are setting up? Any shows which have been announced we might see you on in the near future?
Yeah, there's like I said, first you got to get through Saturday, and of course I'll win, but it's how I win. How do I feel after the fight and things like that. But for me, a big card, obviously the Eubank card. I'd love to get on that because I missed the first one due to injury and whatnot. So we might not see him again in the ring. So for me, I want to jump on it if I can.
I mean, you just said you might not see him in the ring again, so do you expect Liam Smith to emulate what we saw in the first fight?
I don't know, man. It's hard to come back for something like that, but I've got to give him. There's so much respect getting in there after that, because like he could have easily took a different fight or something like that, but he jumped straight back into the rematch. I'm actually a Eubank fan. I like the way he acts. I like the way he talks and things like that. So I'd like to see him do it, but it is going to be a hard one to do.
Also, you've made no secret of your ambition to move. I know it's in your own pace, but also you want to move quickly. You feel that you're already British level. You've called out the likes of a Dan Azeez before you even turned over. Dan did the podcast with us and with Rob Tebbert, and he said that when you was talking about him, he called up Ben Shalom and he said, "Make Ben Whittaker my next fight." And this was obviously, I think, it was after your debut. And then Ben Shalom was like, "No, a different stage in your careers." Do you still see Dan Azeez very much as a part of your plan in the near future?
It wasn't so much him, it was more the belt, you know what I mean? Of course, if I had to fight someone like him, I would fight him because I've seen that style so many times. I know what I can do against someone like that. But for me, it was more the belt. But if down the line it has to happen, I can put him on the resume. I can put a loss on his record.
What have you made of Dan's kind of progression? Because he's certainly starting to build up a bit of a rapport with the fans, and he's been on a good run, certainly since he signed with Boxer as well.
Yeah, you have to respect it. You know, he came from kind of the bottom of pro boxing, worked his way up through all the titles, and you can only congratulate someone who's done it that way.
We obviously saw him overcome Shakan Pitters back in Liverpool. What have you made of him in terms of stylistically, and how would you fare against him?
You'd only see if we're in the ring together. You know, sparring, but I've sparred him before, and I know what I did there. So if it came to a fight with smaller gloves, it's only going to end up worse.
Buatsi Stepien headlines on Saturday night again. Josh, somebody you might cross paths with at some point down the line. What do you make of that fight?
Yeah, you know, I don't really know much of the opponent, but at the end of the day, he's on a different part of his career again now. For me, he should be touching world titles, so it's a bit of a weird fight, but, you know, he's got his own path, his own goals and things like that, so down to him, really.
People have obviously been critical of Josh's progression, feeling that, like you said, he should be challenging for world titles now and it should be a lot closer for him. Beyond this and kind of linking into yourself, how far off do you feel he is to you? You are to him, because when we did our interview post-fight, I can't remember what show it was, about a month or so ago now, you said that Buatsi and Dan Azeez were coming to your platform. So how far away do you think a fight with Josh might be?
For me, all it is for me is just rounds, you know. That's why we go through this stage in our career, doing the 6s, the 8s, the 10s and stuff like that. For me, it's just more rounds, more experience in that way. But skill-wise and everything else, I could beat them tomorrow. And everybody who knows boxing and seen me, they know that's true. But at the end of the day, you got to do your apprenticeship. So for me, I just got to get the rounds and get the experience. And when the time's right, I'll fight those type of guys, no problem.
Was it a surprise to you that he opted not to take the Dimitri Bivol fight when it was on offer?
Yeah, a bit of a weird one. I think it was 30, 31. When you're at that age and an opportunity like that pops up, I'd jump at the hat. You know what I mean? Especially he's gone through the right stages, British and whatnot. The next step is a world title, but at the end of the day, his team and whatnot think elsewise. So.
So the other title holder in the division's Beterbiev. We saw the purse bids a couple of days ago, picked up by Top Rank, $15,000 difference from what Matchroom bid. They'll obviously host now the Beterbiev Smith fight. What are your thoughts on that and a $15,000 difference?
Yeah, fair play to Bob, man. He's done his thing. He must have a good inside man, and I respect he's doing the best for the fighter. Get it on home advantage, and he knows what he's doing. But it's a great fight. And it is a tricky fight for both parts. I think Callum can beat him and Beterbiev can beat him. So it is a 50-50 fight in my opinion.
If I pushed you for an answer, who comes out on top?
For me, Beterbiev, just for the simple fact his style is aggressive. He's very experienced and he can hit so hard. Callum Smith proved himself a lot of times, but he's only just moved up to light heavy not long ago. Where for me, the hardest puncher in the game is probably Beterbiev. So it's a tough one, but one shot can change the game.
Just a final one, Ben, before I wrap this up and we head over to the press conference. Obviously, Anthony Joshua, your manager, recently out against Jermaine Franklin. Everybody going into that fight was expecting to see him take him out and look explosive, way that we did kind of pre-Klitschko. We never quite got that performance. What did you make of what we saw back on April 1st?
Yeah, for me, it's just getting back in the winning bracket. You know, a win's a win. A lot of people can critique him and he should have done this, should have knocked him out. But at the end of the day, he won. If you perform, this is what I always say: if you perform great and lost, you still lost. If you perform rubbish and won, you still won. So the main thing was to get him back winning, get his confidence back and whatnot, gel with his new coach, and from there he's in back to bigger fights.
For anyone, and obviously all of those who work within the sport, and anyone I've interviewed, I've asked them, and I'll ask you as well. You know, a lot of talk as to maybe, is he more cautious of what's coming back at him? Is he a little worried about getting hit back now? Did you see that version of Anthony Joshua in the ring?
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even watch the fight, man. You know what I mean? I just saw the highlights, man. But I was just playing my PlayStation, if I'm honest, getting ready for my own camp. But the things I did hear, it was like a bit negative, a bit cagey. But at the end of the day, you're fighting these top level guys. At that weight, one punch can change the whole fight. So maybe he's a bit more cautious. But he's got that game changer as well. You know what I mean? And he's a person who likes to try different styles and listen to his coach. So maybe it was the corner works plan.
Right, Ben, we will wrap this up there. I'll leave you to go get your hair cut now because I know you've been. All right, when's he coming back?
Hey, listen, man. Shout out Keats Cuts, man.
All right, Ben, it's a pleasure as always. I'll speak to you again, probably post-fight now, but I'll see you around, so thanks for speaking to me.
Nice one, man. Respect.